Okay, so I'm back at the Costanza hive, and actually, you know what? I'm going to switch up your camera angle a little bit here because I'm going to be creating a new nuke. I guess I'm going to be splitting that hive because it's full of queen cells. And what I did was I stole my swarm box here, which didn't work very well as a swarm box because the Costanza hive swarmed. Now, I used to have this box right in this tree here. I've removed it because I just don't have a nuke box to use. So this is a 5-frame nuke box. I'm going to take 5 frames from the Costanza hive. I want 2 of them to have queen cells. Now, one I know has a supersedure cell in the middle. I'm going to grab that one. Then I'm going to grab one more frame with at least 1 queen cell on it. And then I'm going to grab some resources. I'm going to grab a frame of drones and some honey and nectar and some pollen for them. So the plan is to split this hive. Initially I wasn't going to do a split. Look, I had to remove that swarm box with this tool. It's the only thing I had. Because I wasn't planning on doing a split with this because I thought I don't want this hive's genetics because it's been so troublesome. But the truth is, again, thanks to YouTube posters, they schooled me on the fact that actually the queen that just swarmed was an excellent queen. She built this thing out really fast. Built out a second brood box, survived the winter with mice in there, and her genetics are probably pretty darn good. So I'm going to take advantage of that and try and do another split. Lord help me. Okay, so I put on a honey super on. It's not going to be anything in there. So I'm going to pull the super off. I'm going to pull the top box off because there were no swarm cells there. There actually was one, and I broke it upon entering the hive. So I'm going to get right into the bottom of the hive and get into those swarm cells and into creating a split. Okay, this is only my second split ever. This is my first solo split, and really this one should have a high probability of success. What am I going to do? Okay, I am later going to grab some honey frames out of here as well. I'm going to extract some honey frames because it is absolutely full of honey. And it's brand new honey. So I'm going to take that and add it to my 50 pounds that I extracted yesterday. So here we go. Let's see. It's going to be a heavy box. I'm going to be ready for it. Alright, now, I remember one of these first frames had a lot of drone comb on it, and I'm going to probably take that one, but first I'm going to prepare my nuke box here. It's full of the existing frames on it that we don't need, so I'm going to just quickly get rid of those to make room for the new guys. Why would anyone not swarm to this box? Well, I guess that's a good reason. So I had some drawn out comb. I had it baited. Oh, there's a huge spider in there. Maybe that's why. Huge jumping spider in there, which I'm sorry, my friend, has to be evicted. I didn't kill it. I just got rid of it. But that certainly might be a reason why bees wouldn't go in there. Big jumping spider in there. Okay, so now the box is ready to go. Let's get some frames into it, shall we? Okay. I almost don't want to speak too loud because you can just see how calm these bees are, right? They're certainly not acting like a hive that doesn't have a queen. So I find that really interesting. Let's get this first one out and have a look at it. Come on. Okay, just go nice and easy. Look at all that drone comb on it. Get you in the sun here. Drone comb, drones, and a ton of honey. On this side, more drone comb and a ton of honey. So this is going in. Take a quick look for a queen, but I highly doubt a queen would be out here. This is a good resource frame for a split. So that's what we're going to do with it. I'm going to take it right over here. Put it in as my outside frame. Now, depending on how many bees I take with me, I have to remember to shake off some bees maybe and leave them some good resources, right? Can't forget that. So here's the next frame, and this frame is much the same as the first frame. Let's move it over a little bit. So that's a drone comb. And not as much honey as the other one. So I'm going to leave this one in. Okay. These are starting to get a little excited here. You can just tell when they're starting to get unhappy because they just start bouncing right off your mask, veil, hood, that type of thing. Okay, so now I am really looking for queen cells. And I believe the yellow frame that you see, which is a plastic frame, has queen cells. Now this is also a good brood frame, which I do need as well. So I'm going to take this one too. Okay? So that the queen has more bees to choose from. And you can see this one has got a nice queen cell at the bottom. See? So that's my first queen cell. I'm just going to have a quick look at it, make sure it's intact. It is. It's being tended to by those bees. So I'm going to get this in the hive. And that frame had a decent amount of bees on it, so that's great. Now, I'm going to look for the supersedure cell, which I believe was on this plastic frame right here. So the yellow one that I'm not about to check. I'm checking the one beside it. I'm going to have a quick look at this one too. Really nice brood. So we got 5 frames. Yeah, I might take this one too. There's good brood on it. Let's see if there's any other queen cells on it. All through that comb on the bottom. Yes, there is one queen cell on it that has some royal jelly in it. Can you see it there? So I'm going to take that one too. There's some pollen in here as well, which we need. Decent amount of bees as well. So now let's see what this next frame holds for me. Like I said, I thought this was the one that had a supersedure cell right in the middle. Let's see if that's true. No, it does not. It's got a lot of nectar. Some brood on this side. Sorry I don't have you in the sun. I guess this camera angle is not the greatest. It does have a whole bunch of queen cells at the bottom. So I'm going to leave this one in, because I don't want to take too many more queen cells. I would just like to take one more so that I know there's a couple of options in the split. Another queen cell at the bottom here, another swarm cell. 1, 2 swarm cells. And boy oh boy, this one's on the verge of being chewed open. Look at this one right here. See that one? See if I can get a pointer on it. Right there. They are really working at opening that one, so I'm going to stick that one in. Where am I going to leave it? Let's see what the next cell, let's see what the next frame shows me. Because obviously this hive needs a queen as well. And we don't want to do a split that's then going to kill it, right? Nothing on here as far as supersedure cells. Back she goes. Whoa, what happened there? These guys get so excited. them a little bit, but it seems to. Here's this thing. So they're definitely getting hot now for some reason. I don't really know why, but maybe that queen's about to come out. They're getting anxious about it. Who knows? You just hear the buzzing on one side of the hive. It's pretty funny. Okay, so they have gotten rid of that supersedure cell. They did have a cell going right in the middle of one of the previous frames. It's gone now. So we've got at least 2 queen cells over there now. Got a good amount of honey and nectar. We'll see if I can give them one more resource frame of honey here. And yeah, this has got a lot of honey and a lot of nectar. And there's the supersedure cell right there. This is the supersedure cell frame. And man, it looks like that queen's about to come out too. Look at it right here. It is. And you can see the end of it is almost chewed off. I'll try and bring you in for a close-up, but it's tough to tell where the camera actually looks. You see it? So she's going to go into, and there's a decent amount of bees in this box, so I'm not too concerned about shaking any more bees in there. I'd like to put another honey frame in there, and you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to put in an empty frame because I think there's enough bees in there, and this hive here needs its own honey as well. Because I'm going to take a couple of frames of drawn honey out of the top box. So here's what the nuke looks like. Okay, have a look here. So we know there's at least 3 queen cells in there, and I know there's a bunch of queen cells in the box that we took it out of. So that's going to be my split. Let's see how it works. This officially becomes day 1 of the new split. I'm going to put in some empty frames in there, and then I'm going to put in, I'm going to extract a couple of frames from that top box there that are absolutely wonderful and beautiful and should be eaten. And make sure they have enough resources in this hive as well, but I think we're laughing. I'm going to put you on pause for now until I button everything up, okay? Okay, so thanks to the advice of fine YouTubers and my mentor, I have now split the Costanza hive. This hive, I split into a 5-frame nuke over there, right? I could have split it multiple times, but let's just keep things simple. I've got my first split over there, which just created a queen with a silver lid, the one closest to us, the small box closest to us. And this brings me up to 7 hives if this nuke works, and I think it will work. I feel good about it. So now what I'm going to do is I extracted 50 pounds of honey from 13 medium frames, which is a fantastic extraction. And I'm going to put those spun frames back in to my 2 most productive hives, this one and that one, and let them keep making honey for me, because I've got now the resource hives happening, the number of bees being built up, the 2 new nukes, and honey, and I have no idea how I got into this, but anyway, it's a lot of fun. So I'm just going to replace these. Maybe I'll just put it on fast video. I'm going to leave the frames, the frames that I put in here. I'm not going to shake the bees off there. I'm just going to leave the frames beside the hive. They're not going to be drawn out or anything. And I'll just let the bees work their way back into the hive, come back tomorrow, and take them home. All right? So I'm going to put you on a wide angle here and probably just speed through this operation. All right? So I don't have to take too much of your precious time. Okay. These hives are starting to look as messy as my house. Look at the mess they've made here in 2 days of bird comb because the frames are spaced too far apart. So there's a lesson for me, right? I'll leave that out there for them to rob their own honey out of, or their own nectar. And I'll start with 10 frames in here instead of 9. this. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for joining me. A really busy week of beekeeping, and thanks for all your help. I really appreciate it. It has helped guide me along, hopefully, to success. Thanks for joining me, 40 Honeybee.